This is Brogan O'Shea, and welcome to XCW Recall. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of XCW Recall. I'm your host, Blackheart, and we're continuing our look this season at SummerMania debuts by going back not quite as far this time. This time we're going back to SummerMania 14, back in 2019. Before he was the Rambler, he was just Brogan O'Shea. And here, he's facing Jessie Justice for the Extreme Championship in 3 Stages of Hell. So we're going to take a look at that match with Brogan O'Shea's commentary.
Alright, so here we are, SummerMania 14.
Jacoby, holy shit!
This is your first singles SummerMania match. And this is the special entrance of Jessie Justice.
Yeah.
So, experiencing your first SummerMania as a participant, of course you were in the SummerMania previous to this as an extra for Brendan Stickle. What were your expectations of your first SummerMania, and what was it like having to see a special entrance like this for Jessie?
My expectations for SummerMania, I felt like were pretty simple. I really just needed to get through this match and prove to people that I could wrestle more than just, the same person. Because before this, I'd wrestled Genocide, and then I'd also wrestled Eternal Darkness, who was, at the time, Genocide. So, for me, this was the first time me getting to wrestle somebody that was, not the same person. And I needed to put on something good, to prove that I deserved to be here. So, this is a big moment for me. Plus, Jessie Justice entrance, it's ridiculous. Look at that.
Barbed wire animals.
Jeez. Gosh, look at that old arena. I always forget that we were out there.
So, one thing that really stands out from this match specifically is the rivalry that you and Jessie had going into this, where you guys played games of hide and seek, and he's doing weird stuff like smelling your hair and licking your face and everything else. And this is really the first interactions that you had with Jessie himself.
Right.
So, what can you say about this rivalry leading up and kind of everything that went into this story?
So it was nice because I feel like it gave me a sense of style. It let me learn that not everybody, does promos or wrestles the same. So what it allowed me to do was open up my playbook for a more dynamic and more versatile, time out here. And working with Jessie Justice, who's someone who's so unorthodox, you never know what you're going to expect. So you gotta stay on your toes, and it taught me that a little bit. Plus, a grown man licking your forehead is...
it's different, yeah.
Yeah, it's off-putting, for sure. Oh, man, I remember, oh, man.
A little bit different look there, with especially the hair.
Yeah. Oh, man. Do you ever wish you could go back in time?
Well, if anything, look at Festus and Kean in this.
James, oh my gosh, everybody looks so different.
Like Festus has almost completely black hair.
I know. And James Jenkins has completely short hair.
We barely had working microphones, or didn't have working microphones. I'm not really sure.
Dude, I think we had tried the walkie-talkie at this point. It's so funny looking at Kean now.
And this is, of course, 3 Stages of Hell, the first one being a blindfold match.
Which later became my favorite match type. I've said this multiple times on the XCW camera. If I had a match type that I can pick from, it's always going to be 3 Stages of Hell every time. Mostly because you get diversity, you get 3 different kinds of matches, it's 2 out of 3 falls. It's absolutely fantastic. But I will say what I do remember here, was I actually couldn't see. So I told Festus he had to loosen some stuff up, and he looked at me right then and then walked out. It was basically just a fucking good luck. Look at that. They're letting Jesse put it on himself, you know. You remember those shoes?
Yeah, I do.
I knew you would. Oh my god.
Well, I'm sure this one isn't going to live up to yours and Brady's from a year or so.
No, I mean, and that was the thing too. This was really nice to get me broken in. If I could go back and do this match again, I think it'd be a little bit better now, but I wouldn't replace anything that I learned from this. So, I mean, definitely.
And you have to wrestle these unorthodox style matches with Jesse.
Yeah.
This is just Jesse in a nutshell.
Right. I mean, if you gave Jesse a time to shine and you wanted to embody his character, I mean, this is how you do it. Jesus Christ. I look like I was poured into my tights.
So going into this match, how much did you and Jesse plan out what you were going to do? Was there specific things that you guys talked about that you had to get in this match, or anything specific that you wanted to do going into each of the different stages? Like, what did the planning process look like in this match?
So believe it or not, we planned a lot of everything that we did based off the items that I had purchased. So, I mean, it being a 3 stages of hell match, and you'll see later on, you know, where a lot of those things come into play, but, you know, we went over everything we talked about, because I had never wrestled a hardcore match before, so we went over exactly what that would look like. It was definitely a huge learning curve for me, especially right here, because, you know, most matches end after the pinfall, whereas now I have to, you know, wait for my hand to get tied behind my back.
I actually personally think that it would be harder to wrestle with one arm tied behind my back than it would be blindfolded.
So here's where they messed up. They tied my dominant hand behind my back, so I'm left-handed. So you'll see here in a second, one thing I do remember is I decked Jessie Justice probably 3 or 4 times in a row because I just couldn't figure anything out. Like, what is that tying job they just gave him? What is that? There's a real one. There's a real one. There's a real one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot that you can do in this situation.
No. I mean, like I said, I think going back now, I feel like we could do things a little different. But of course, like I said, you know, this was a huge moment for me because A, it's my first SummerMania. I'm with another veteran, and stuff like this happens. So, I mean, staying on my feet this entire match was super difficult for me.
And of course, like I said earlier, you were a part of the SummerMania prior to this, so you kind of knew what it looked like when it was on a bigger stage. So you already kind of knew what you had to live up to. I mean, look at that crazy entrance that Brendan Stickle had the year before.
Exactly, and not only that, I feel like it added more pressure on me because I was around a lot longer, you know, when I first started than, you know, when I debuted. So by the time I debuted, I had been here for probably 6 or 7 months. So I'd gotten a lot of look of what things should look like, and so I felt like knowing what the product needs to look like and what I could produce at the time was a big challenge for me.
Jesse taking the restraint off.
Yeah, cutting it off, putting that into the pocket for later. So I think this is really, I felt like, the comfortable part of the match. because I wasn't blindfolded. I didn't have one arm tied behind my back. At least this way, I could use all of my ligaments and then wrestle on the extreme part of this match. Fucking barbed wire stuffed animals and stuff. Okay, that actually hurt. I do remember that. That's just straight barbed wire. Like, yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, it's just one random strand of barbed wire.
There's a painting. I think he's grabbing it soon. There it is, yeah. So we stole this from his mom. That right there is a $400 painting, and we didn't know it. Because it was painted on real canvas. So we cut holes in it in the beginning thinking that, you know, I could just stick my head through it, but obviously...
Oh my God!
He hit me so hard I forgot to bump. Yeah, so that, let's just say that picture was not worth $400 by the time we were done with it.
I'm assuming she didn't get it back.
No, I still am not sure that she knows we took it, so I'm sorry. I think we're getting up to one of Jessie's favorite spots. It involves a plunger.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Jessie Justice match.
Okay. And so this was another thing too. Is I had a certain level of comfortability after, you know, the first two stages, because I felt like those two were going to be the hardest to get through. And so, but sorry, that random plunger killed me.
Oh my God, he caught you with the top.
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't think I realized how much I didn't give a fuck back then. You know. So this is where I was too afraid to gig myself. So Jessie Justice decided he was going to take his box blade, and gig him myself. Now here's the thing. He used it for work at Denny's, and it was rusty. So by the time I had gotten up here, you know, that first cut he made was already deep enough he didn't know it, so we did two. And so by the time I get up here, I'm pretty,
ridiculous.
Jessie Justice. We already knew that Jessie, back by her, had zero conscience. They used to raise up their blood. I'm gonna pick Brogan over as an experience.
I know. Here comes the plunger.
yeah, this was my idea. So we stick it, Irish whip, bounce.
Nice.
Jesus. What's funny is I had a blade. It's in that black electrical tape around my wrist. I just never used it.
Well, we should have known something was up. You never wear tape.
Yeah, no, never.
Brogan, not going for the pin. That may come back to bite him, but I think he wants...
Is that a piece of crib?
That is, okay, so there was a crib. I was living somewhere where, you know, somebody had a baby. And then they were getting a new crib. And so I just kind of ripped that side piece off of the crib they were using. Fun fact, they didn't get a new crib for like another 2 weeks after that, so.
A crib table. I think this is a first and last ever.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So, I don't know if you hear the child in the background. That is Claire.
Okay. Was it her crib?
Yes.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't, but it should have been. Crappiest last call in XCW history.
That crib broke with no problem.
No problem. I mean, you gotta imagine, with me and Jessie at this time, there's probably 600 pounds coming down on that crib piece.
So now you are the new Extreme Champion.
Yep.
I assume this is your first, right?
So
First
this is my second. This would be my second singles title.
No, I mean Extreme.
Oh yeah, this is my first Extreme Champion win, absolutely. We had talked a little bit before that, and you told me the reason that we're going to do the Extreme route. I mean, it was pretty obvious. My wrestling, of course, wasn't up to par. So it allowed me to do different things, and it led me to this fucking Lucky Charms box that broke my nose a week beforehand. So I came back out with the same Lucky Charms box, same shit, you know.
So you watched this match back for the very first time in almost five years.
Yeah.
Your thoughts after recalling this match after all this time?
I love this match. It holds a special place in my heart. I got to wrestle with my best friend. I got to win my first Extreme title, but man, was it a piece of shit. You know, I think.
Nobody can stand a chance against Brogan, the Rambler. Oh shit!
I think 200 pounds ago, I was not the same wrestler as I am today, but I'm glad that, you know, we got all the steps to get me here. So, overall, love this match. Accurate.
Hey, a positive outcome for once. Brogan O'Shea able to capture the Extreme Championship in his very first appearance at SummerMania all the way back in 2019. And of course, Brogan O'Shea would be a pillar stone of XCW in the years to come. Well, that's it for this edition of XCW Recall. For everybody here at the XCW, I'm Blackheart saying, see you next time.